Hello everybody, today we're going to look at the Nanmu Spinosaurus Supplanter. I don't even know what Supplanter means. I didn't bother to look it up when I was buying this figure, but that was way back in 2021. It's 2022, so there's no reason to bother with that. All we need to look at is just how amazing this figure is. I mean, it's not hard to see that it is incredibly detailed, even in this just zoomed out shot here. And just the size of this figure is pretty impressive as well. Um, just right off the bat, it's 54.99, I think, or in the £50 range from everything Dinosaur. I think it's 54.99. I could be mistaken though. Wait, but yes, I think it's around that price. Um, and yeah, I just want to dive in really because this figure is really impressive. And yes, there is no set background. I just thought it's getting like tea stains on it, and it's getting it's just a grotty looking piece of trash, to be honest. So hopefully I can sort that out soon. But yeah, today you've got to cope with some of my insect specimen shelf and my Doctor Who stickers here behind the Spinosaurus, and of course my beasts of the Mesozoic diorama that I've created there, which and some of those I will review later down the line. But yeah, today I want to look at the Nanmu Spinosaurus. So let's get straight into the head sculpt to start off with. Okay, so I want to look at this beautiful head. Can the camera focus? That is the question. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that scale detail. It is incredible. Not only are there like the variations in the sides of the scales, but also you can see that they're incredibly distinct from one another while not looking how do I say over textured. That's it, like the Wilson T-Rex, which I will compare to this Spinosaurus later. But yeah, this is an incredible work in terms of the scale detail. If I can get the camera to focus again. You can see that it's not just like scale detail, but it's also the way the scales kind of almost crease in a way with these crests as they fold over with these crests, and just the way it's so good the way the scales are distinct from each other. Let's have a look here. You can see the lower jaw looks really cool as well. It's especially the distinction between all the scales is especially good in the lower jaw, I think, as you can see. And as I go underneath, let's have a look there. We've got some skin and muscle there on the lower jaw. The seam on the articulated jaw is not too bad either. Really, probably the best I've ever seen in terms of hiding the articulated jaw on the bottom. Yeah, really nice. And he's got amazing paint applications on the head. Really nice and movie accurate. It's really well done. You can see that you've got the kind of like that grey pattern that runs along the length of the Spinosaurus head, and then you've got that classic red colour on the top. I always thought that made it look really terrifying in the movie. It's a terrifying movie monster, terrifying depiction of a fictional dinosaur, because obviously this is not an accurate figure, not an accurate movie monster either. So yeah, you got to bear that in mind. Head sculpt is, as I said, it's movie accurate, but it's not necessarily entirely accurate in terms of the scientific accuracy. Yeah, head sculpt is amazing. It looks very crocodilian. You've got the classic little notch as you come up to the upper jaw here, but it kind of tapers out there. Whereas with a figure like Essien, for example, the Pianisso Spinosaurus, you'll see that it actually curves back around Like, it doesn't just curve upwards, it curves, and then there's like it comes up and around. But this Spinosaurus doesn't have that, of course. The eye is well painted, although I would have liked to see like maybe a glass eye even. That would have been so good. Really, really good. Coming down to the neck here, you've got some nice kind of light brownish paint around the ear. And the figure doesn't look too shrink wrapped either. You can see that there's some in the I'm not sure what part of the skull this is, but my anatomy isn't that good. But yeah, you can see there's you could see a little bit of skull definition there, but not much else on the figure, to be honest. The shrink wrapping is not really present. Really nice, really detailed neck creases there. Again, not too much over detailing. It's just really nice neck creases combined with those crocodilian scales on the top, which is really, really nice. And if we just bend it around here, you can see because it's turning around, it's turning slightly to its left, so the figure is a little kind of skewed in terms of how I can angle it here. But yeah, as you can see, it's the same story on the other side of the head. Same story on the other side of the neck as well. Got some really nice crocodilian like scales on the top. You got really nice neck creases here. I do want to talk about the Articulator Jaw for just a second as well. My arm is aching because holding this figure because it's pretty heavy. But yeah, you can see that it just about opens towards there. At maximum, you can kind of make it come open a bit more, but it doesn't stay there. It will go back. I prefer to have the mouth closed, to be honest. Yeah, so that's that. Now let's zoom back out again. You can see that it's got some really nice scale detail coming down to the body here. Got those crocodilian scales continue down the body and past the sail. I'll get to the sail in a minute. You got some nice stretching of the muscle here, as you can see. The arm also looks really nice and muscular as well. You've got those really nice sharp claws. The figure does have pretty sharp claws. This is not a children's toy in any way, shape or form. It is certainly a collector's model, and a collector's model through and through. Yeah, I would say that most certainly. The body is covered in this kind of it's kind of a purplish brown, you could say, which is combined with the grey is really nice, and of course it's definitely screen accurate. You've got some really nice really nice muscle definition, that quadricep of the leg there. Again, really nice scale details at the top of the leg there. You've got those crocodilian scoots running across. Really nice, powerful looking calf muscles. I can just get the focus on there, yeah. And then the feet, again, equally as good as the arms. You've got those really nice, if I could just get a bit of a zoom in there, really nice claws, really sharp claws actually, really, really sharp. But again, it's a collector's model. The other foot is pretty much the same. If we can get a good light on it there, it's pretty much the same. So there's no real need to talk about differences there. Now, let's look at the sail, because that is a big attraction of the Spinosaurus. The sail has got a really nice darker painted red on the top, and it fades out really nicely into kind of an orange band, and then you got the grey, of course. But I think a really nice touch that Nanmu have put on here is the blue kind of circles with the white borders that you can see here. If I can just bring the camera up, you could see they're quite faint, especially compared to other models of the same dinosaur, like the W Dragon Spinosaurus, JP Spinosaurus. But yeah, this is definitely a figure that uh, doesn't try to isn't too garish. It's definitely out of the W Dragon and the Nanmu Spinosaurus. The Nanmu Spinosaurus is definitely the more natural looking, even though it's supposed to be a movie monster. And I think that's a win for the Nanmu Spinosaurus, to be honest. Again, you got the same kind of story on here with the circles and the paint job. Again, the detail in this figure is crazily good, crazy good. You got some really nice kind of segments here with the spines. Yeah, really nice segments, all running all the way down, and you got that really nice paint, white pattern running across there. It really adds to the iconic nature of this well, could you call it a movie character? I suppose you could, couldn't you? Of this movie monster. Okay, now moving on to the tail. The tail is really long, as you could see. It kind of goes all the way down here. The figure, I haven't actually measured it, to be honest. I haven't got a tape measure with me. But you can really see the muscle definition on the tail there. You can see that there's a little bit of a seam just here, if I can just zoom in. I'm not sure if that's a seam or not, actually. Well, there's so much detail on this figure, so much scale detail that you can barely... Any seams that there are, honestly, I do not know. I do not know where they are, if it even has any, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, the tail is pretty long, and overall this is just a really big figure. Really, really big. So, now for the size comparisons, let me just get Wilson the T-Rex. Alright, so Wilson the T-Rex is significantly smaller. As you can see, it's definitely bulky. But the Nanmu Spinosaurus, I would say, is... Well, I think anyone could say it's huge. It's a huge figure compared to Wilson the T-Rex here. And then let me just get another Tyrannosaur. This is the Pianisso Tarbosaurus. Definitely smaller than Wilson, and and certainly smaller than the Spinosaurus. So you can see that they have the paint schemes of both these figures blend together, I think, because of the base grey on the Spinosaurus and then the grey of the Tarbosaurus there. So yeah, these are some really nice figures. We got like a big three, you could say. Although I think really the classic big three is the Giganotosaurus, the Tyrannosaurus, and the Spinosaurus. So let me get the Nanmu Giganotosaurus. Okay, so here we are with the... If I can just get this Wilson out of the way. Here is the Nanmu Giga. Let's just see if I can pose that behind it. You can see that the figures are in very similar sizes. It's difficult because this stand is definitely not big enough for both of these. If I can just do this maybe here. Yeah, you can see it's just the Nanmu Giganotosaurus is certainly bigger, definitely bulkier, taller, but together, I mean, if you're looking for a figure with size. I'd still say there's a debate between these two because they're very similar sizes. Great models. The Giganotosaurus, I think I reviewed as my second review of the channel. I'm not too sure, but it is about $54.99 on everything dinosaur, or around that price. So it's a very similar price to the Nanmu Spinosaurus. I would wholeheartedly recommend the Nanmu Spinosaurus. It is just an amazing figure, amazing paint applications, amazing muscle definition, amazing scale detail. Just the movie accuracy is so good, and as one of my favorites Jurassic Park dinosaurs, I think this gets a 10 out of 10 easily. To be honest, the T-Rex was never my favorite. It was always the Spinosaurus in the JP movies, because it just has this sinister look to it in the movies with that horrid green eye, and then the roar. Oh, that it is really terrifying, and I'm glad to have an amazing representation for it on my shelf. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.